It's a state championship edition of Jacked Up, back for our second episode of this brand new WTOV9 podcast series. Our area crowned two girls basketball state champions. And with that, we talked to our first state champion in the 4A tournament MVP from Wheeling Park High School, Alexis Bordas. Lex, thanks for taking some time out of your day to talk to us. I'm sure these last couple of days have been very, very busy for you. Has it even really changed the feeling, even though we're a couple of days out of you guys winning a state championship?
No, it still feels unreal. It's really amazing, and just all the support we've gotten from the community, from the school, families, friends, everyone. It's felt amazing, and I can still feel all the support, and it's great. It still feels amazing.
Well, it's a shame that you guys didn't have a whole lot of knowledge on the team you were playing going into. I imagine you
I
guys
know,
were up
right?
late studying of all kinds of film. I mean, when I talked to Ryan the night before, talking about obviously Morgantown 15 times in the last 3 years, it just kind of, he said he thought it would just kind of come down to the team that played better. Did you kind of get that vibe as well going into the game?
Yeah, definitely. We know that they're a great team. They're very well coached. They have great players, and we know each other. So it definitely wasn't like, oh, who scouted better, whatever. It's definitely just whoever wanted it more. And I know we really wanted it, especially from last year. So just going in there and giving it everything we had, and we came out on top. But it was definitely a battle of two great teams that just were fighting the whole game.
Yeah, I mean, you guys go up on them early in the first half, and then they go on a 9-0 run. Kaylee Kellogg by herself with 3 threes. What were your guys' thoughts going into the locker room when she just rattled off 3 deep triples and cut it to a 1-point game at halftime?
Obviously, we talked about how we had to make sure that she doesn't get any more shots off because she's feeling hot now. But we were definitely calm and wanted to keep be collected. And um, we knew that that's what happened to us last year. Was I had a 3 at the buzzer to cut it to 1, so it was kind of the same situation, and we ended up losing the game. So we were like, it could be the same thing. Like, don't panic because we still have the lead and just want to keep building that. And we knew that the third quarter was a big quarter, so if we would have won that, we'd probably win the game. And we came out in the third quarter, played really well. Same with the fourth, and I think the beginning of those quarters really helped us extend the lead.
Yeah, and one of the things that Ryan also talked about was challenging Natalie Doyle to have a big game, and she was able to save her best stuff in the tournament for when it mattered the most for you guys. So what did her being able to get hot early and finish the game, I think 19 points, what did that add to your guys' offense for the state championship?
Yeah, she wanted to win so bad. She'd wanted it all year, the whole time she's been here, and she came out and proved it. And she's always been someone that's capable of scoring, even if she doesn't show it on one night. But she always guards one of the best players on the other team and gives it all she has on defense. So to see her then get hot on offense, and I like we know she can at any night, and I'm glad she was confident and shot because she even if she didn't shoot well, like I just kept reminding her like keep shooting because she's a great shooter the fall. And she shot well. She did everything she could to help us win, and she's a huge part of why we won.
Yeah, and has been a huge part of your guys' success between her, you, and Lala, 3 1,000-point scores on the same team, which speaks for itself. But Natalie, a senior, also to go with Jillian and Merritt, 3 seniors on the team. What do Jill and Merritt bring? Obviously, Merritt has come up big defensively. Jill had some big buckets down the stretch in the second half of the state championship game. But the 3 of them, what do they really add as far as, making you guys a successful basketball team?
Yeah, I mean, obviously with the 3 of us that can score, teams are more focused on us, but then you have them, and it's not like you can really play off of them or help on us because they're going to score too. Or at any chance they get, they always make the right play. They're very smart players, and they're unselfish, and they focus on defense, and they do all the little things to help us that people might not even notice, like rebounding, setting screens, um, hitting the cutter when we're cutting and trying to help us score. So they do all those little things, and then when it's time for them to score, they step up. And I think like they're little pieces to our team that really are huge pieces that people might not see.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So for a tournament MVP, the first time that the SSAC has introduced a tournament MVP, what did that mean to you to be able to be named the 4A MVP after you guys obviously get to cut down the nets and all that?
Yeah, I was honored by everyone that voted for me, so I was very happy about that. But just to win it all, that definitely was icing on the cake after we won it all. But I was just so happy we won. I was like overwhelmed with joy. So I was just trying the whole week just to do everything I could to help our team win. I really wanted to win more than anything. And all the personal awards are great, but they don't mean anything without the state championship. So it was really great to get that.
Yeah, and I would have to imagine that your performance against Huntington in the semifinals had a little bit to do with why you were named the MVP. What'd you eat for breakfast that day? Because it was the early day. What
Yeah.
what was the thought process going into that game? And just take me through that. 38 points, 8 3-pointers.
Well, I think it probably started the night before. I was very focused. We did a team prayer and we were just kind of talking about the game. And um, I went to bed pretty early after I did my recovery boots that I brought with me. Um, Woke up early and I think I just ate some fruit that they got us from like Kroger and stuff. I think it was like grapes and strawberries and stuff. Just something light. And then, but I was ready. I know Huntington's a tough team too, and we had already beaten them by a lot earlier in the season. But I mean, they came to play through the whole tournament. They upset Parkersburg to get to the tournament, upset Spring Valley. So we knew that they were definitely on a high, and we knew they were going to be a different team than the team that we beat. So we had to come out there, and I was just focused on making it to that title game and winning it all.
Yeah, so it sounds like you guys weren't surprised to see Huntington in the second round. And it's same thing when I talked to Ryan before Saturday. You couldn't really tell that he was surprised that Morgantown had made it as the 4 seed. So when you guys are, following or watching that game against them in George Washington and you see them make it to the state championship, despite them being out a key player in Lily Jordan, did that really surprise any of you guys as players either?
We knew that both teams were good and it could be a game no matter what. Obviously, without Lily, it hurts their team, but their other players stepped up, so we knew that either team was going to be a tough opponent. And Morgantown they're gritty. They give you everything they have every time that you play them. So, but I was happy to play them to kind of give it back to them from last year. But I have so much respect for their program, their team, coaches, everyone.
Yeah, I mean, you guys losing the state quarterfinals, state semi, state finals 3 years in a row before winning this year, all to Morgantown. So I would have to imagine that you guys felt pretty good about that. You guys get asked all the time, it feels like in these press conferences, about shooting in that gym. But one of the things that always really interests me was the whole format of the tournament. I mean, you guys play a quarterfinal game late and turn around a couple days later and play the semifinal game at 9:30 in the morning. So how do you guys maybe physically and mentally prepare for the week-long tournament really can kind of play at all times in the day?
Yeah, for me personally, I think of it kind of as like an AAU week. Whenever I'm playing in July, especially, we're there for like weeks at a time, and you never really know when you're going to play until you see what seed you are and who you're playing and everything. So I kind of have some experience in that way. Same with Lala and Natalie. So I guess we're pretty used to that. But I kind of just like looking game by game just to see like when do I have to go to bed, when do I have to eat, when do I have to do all these things just to prepare myself and make sure that I'm getting the best sleep and food I can possibly. But it's definitely kind of weird when, especially like you're down there, you have a day off and you don't really touch a basketball all day. We shot at Charleston Catholic for like 30 minutes in between, but it's like you're playing a game and then you're really taking a whole day off and not even like I'm not used to that when I'm at home. Usually I'm getting shots up and stuff. So that's like the weirdest part to me about it. But um, it's like that for everyone, so you can't make any excuses or anything. But yeah, it's definitely interesting.
Now, when you guys are taking that time off, are you spending it together talking about the game, or are you kind of maybe trying to take your mind off it a little bit, or is it just basketball all week long?
Mostly basketball. We do a little bit of other things. We were pretty much always together this weekend. We've been trying to do that more since like I've gotten older. We've been more together each time we've been at the tournament. We went to a couple games. We watched Cameron. We watched Wheeling Central. Just kind of supporting the local teams, and then we watched GW in Morgantown just to see who our opponent would be. But then we'll go to meals together, and then we had some time set off for schoolwork and stuff like that. So we're pretty much always together, but a lot of it's basketball, but sometimes we try to, stay away from that and talk about other things.
No, for sure. Not only it was obviously very cool for you guys to win the state championship, but when you see Cameron and the run that they made in Class A 3 in a row, and another local team, in our area to be able to be crowned state champion. So what was it like maybe to share that with them this week as Ohio Valley girls state champs?
Yeah, that's awesome. It's a three-peat's crazy for any team, and let alone someone that's really close to us. So congrats to Cameron and all the coaches and players. We were cheering for them on the way home from Charleston. We were watching, so it's really great. They have amazing players and coaches, and I was really happy to see that for them.
Were you surprised at all? I mean, you guys saw them in the regular season and ended up, pulling away from them. But when you're playing against them out on the floor, and all those girls, I'm sure pretty personally too, were you surprised to see obviously them to be able to accomplish what they did?
No, I wasn't surprised at all. I thought they definitely could do it, and I expected it. Obviously anything can happen, and there were other great teams there too, but they deserved it. They work hard, and yeah, I know most of their players just from growing up together, playing with and against them, and they're all great girls, great players, and people. So they deserved it, and I expected it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. One of the things, as we get back into you and Wheeling Park a little bit, one of the things that I've noticed over covering the start of your high school career was how well all three of you, between Nat and Lala and everybody else getting sprinkled in, how well you guys all gel together out on the floor. And the more that I've seen you guys play, the more almost obvious it is to the human eye, like how well you know each other, how well you play with each other. Seems like one of you guys will throw a pass to a spot that nobody's there yet, and then all of a sudden somebody pops open and for a wide open shot. So is that something that has become easier over time playing with these girls? I mean, you played with them for years now, and how much of an advantage do you think that has been for you guys as far as Wheeling Park basketball goes?
Yeah, it's definitely gotten easier with time, and I agree. I think we're really good at knowing each other, and that kind of just comes with experience. I've played with Lala since I started playing basketball when we were like 4 years old. We've been on the same team, and then we weren't for a few years, just going to different middle schools. But we've always played with each other and against each other. And Natalie was a year older than me, but we always just kind of worked out together. We knew each other, and Santa has played with me before, so just kind of like playing with these people growing up, it's really helped. And then obviously, Coach Young has a lot to do with helping us like gel together on the court, and just practices. Like we always work on passing different motions and stuff, and I think that just helps us know each other and how we play and just where we're going to be on the court. And I think this year especially, it really showed how well we know each other.
And back to you personally a little bit too. Do you remember maybe the first time as a young girl, like when you fell in love with the game of basketball? I know your mom was a standout player back in her day as well. So I would assume the relationship you have with her had a little bit to do with you getting into the sport. But is there a moment that you remember, oh man, I want to do this for as long as, I can?
I don't really remember when I was like, wow, like I really love basketball, because I feel like I've always kind of loved basketball because I played pretty much every sport you could imagine when I was growing up, but I always just liked basketball more. And it's not even like I was better at basketball than some of the others. Like I would say I probably was, but I just always enjoyed it more. And so I stopped playing other sports when I was in 7th grade. So I feel like then, but also I think I realized I wanted to play in college in like 4th or 5th grade. So that's the moment I'd say I was like, wow, I really want to play for a really long time, and put my mind to it. Just kept working harder than I had been before.
Yeah, I mean, I remember, talking back at the station, oh, Wheeling Park's got a couple of good freshmen, and you blink and now you're a junior getting ready for your senior year, and you talk about wanting to play in college. What's that process been like for you? And what are some of the things maybe you're looking for in a collegiate program, and maybe some stuff that you might be consider majoring in at the next level too?
Yeah, the recruiting process has been great. I'm really thankful for all the coaches that have put their time in to recruit me, and it's definitely a difficult decision just because I have great options and great people that have supported me along the way and have believed in me at such a young age. So just kind of waiting. I'll probably commit after AAU season this year, so really not that much longer. But just looking for somewhere that feels like home and really fits. Like I want to go somewhere that fits my style and has a coaching staff that I really like. And especially nowadays, you never know with coaches; they're always changing, and there's so much going on with the portal and stuff. So just kind of seeing what fits, and the players around me definitely want to like feel like home and a family. Um, and also like that's going to give me a good education, because I want to be a surgeon when I'm older, so I'll major in pre-med probably. And also a coach that allows that, because I know there's a lot of places that don't really want you to do both, but fortunately all of the coaches that have recruited me have told me that that wouldn't be a problem. They've actually encouraged it, so I'm thankful for that too. But yeah, it's been a great process.
For sure, and that's glad to hear. As you guys navigate the rest of your school year, and then you talked about AAU season, but next fall will probably be here before you know it, and you guys are the top dogs now. I mean, Morgantown had a target on their back. You kind of took the target off of Morgantown's back. You dethroned them. Not only did you beat them in the state championship, but you beat them 4 times this year out of the 5 you played them. What's that going to be like, you think? And, what about the idea of repeating as state champs? I'm sure that has to motivate you guys more.
Yeah, definitely. I'm very thankful and I'm very happy about winning, but next year, if we don't win, then that feeling's kind of gone. So definitely thankful that I have another year and an opportunity to do this again. And we have core people back, and obviously we lose 4 great seniors. So that will be some big shoes to fill, but we have some players that are coming up that are great players as well, and they're going to fit into those roles and help us in a big way. So I'm confident in our chances to repeat. And obviously, though, I mean, winning a state championship's hard. After winning it, you really cherish how hard it is even more, and you're like, wow, like that, it takes a lot. So but next year I think we'll still be a great team, and I believe in Coach Young and all of us to hopefully repeat.
Alexis Bordas taking some time with us on Jacked Up. Lex, again, congratulations on being a state champ. Thanks for taking some time out of your busy week to sit down with us, and good luck.
Thank you.